Alright, gang, welcome back to our survival challenge here on New Frontier. It is now July day 1, and as you can see, we've made an upgrade. Well, we've made a couple of upgrades, actually, for that matter. We've got a brand new harvester here, gang. It's a fantastic, it's a Case 7180. One of my favorite harvesters, or 7180, 7150, excuse me. One of my favorite harvesters, honestly. The axial flow. Love this thing. We have yet to utilize it. In FS25, we utilized it pretty heavily, though, in FS22 at one point. Hopefully I can fit through here. I didn't even think about this. Yep, only just, but we can fit. And I've also made one other upgrade, and I'm bringing back, obviously, the trailer here that we're going to be utilizing most specifically for... I'm just going to leave it here for right now. It's kind of in the way, I know, but we're going to be utilizing that mostly just and only just for... pallets of stuff, right? When we actually start spawning pallets and moving them that way. But I've also made another upgrade. Let me just jump out of here really quick. So last episode we had a lot of issues with trying to dump, you know, grass into the new pen, right? So I bought the small forage wagon. It fits in there nicely, but only just. But that's what we really needed, honestly. So I sold the other trailer that we purchased and put that one in there. Just fixing our mistakes from the last episode more than anything, right? So today's a very busy day, as I mentioned. We've got a couple of things that are ready to harvest today. First and foremost, the grass field over there, what's remaining of the grass field, is ready to harvest. We're not going to take care of that today. That's not going to be on our agenda today. But the field up here to the right, ready to harvest. Our field way over there in the distance on the other side of the tree line, also ready to harvest. So we've got both of those fields that need to be harvested today. Among other things we're going to do and accomplish, like re-plowing them up and getting them prepared and ready to go for when it's time to actually put something in the ground, right? So we're going to go in here and get started. I love this harvester. I mentioned that. It just works so well. It works so well. And it's got a decent width here, right? As obviously we've increased our width a little bit, which is one of the main things I said I wanted to do relatively soon, was to upgrade the harvester and try to get something a little bit better. And we were able to accomplish that. Now, a lot of the reason why we were able to accomplish that is because of the number of actual sawmills we have on the farm. They are making us a hell of a lot of money, and it's a good thing. A couple of them are getting low. Specifically, the two newest ones are getting a little low. I want the one to run out. I don't really necessarily want that one to run out, but that's the lowest one over there, so we're going to have to do some work to put some trees in that guy. I want the one over here to run out, because it's kind of, now that we put down the sheep enclosure, a little bit in the way for backing up, so we want to kind of move that elsewhere. And obviously these sawmills are really temporary anyway. Once we get a lot of the trees down in that area, in that vicinity, we'll move it to an area that has more trees, right? Just to kind of keep bouncing them around all over the place. But they got to run out of wood before we can do that, right? So we're not really going to put any more in that one over there for the time being, but this one over here has some more trees coming its way very soon. Now, a couple other notes. And a lot of you mentioned in the comments, and it makes a lot of sense. I wasn't really thinking of it initially, but the actual silo that we have over there and how it says no share, the problem isn't really the silo. It's the pen for the water buffalo. It thinks it's just an extension for, the actual building for the water buffalo, right? For the pen for the water buffalo. So it's pulling the stuff out of there that the water buffalo can utilize. So while I said I didn't really want to move the silo from that location, it does appear that we're going to have to do that unless we want to continue to allow it to be kind of an extension. So thank you to all of you who pointed that out in the comments. It does make a lot of sense now that I think about it, but I wasn't really factoring that in at the time. So I appreciate that help. So I'm going to have to figure something out for the silo over there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do just yet. Perhaps it's something as simple as we keep that silo there, and that silo is utilized to store our cereal crops and canolas and things like that, right? And then we put another silo that we can store in a house, our straw and our grass and everything else. Perhaps that's the approach we go with instead. We'll see. So those are really the main objectives for us today. Get both the fields harvested, at least get one of them plowed up, if not both. Put down or move the silo. Check on the animals themselves, make sure they're good, they don't need anything. And I think that's pretty much it. So we'll see how far we get and what we get done today. Right now, we've got the first headland pass done on this field. We're now working on the second headland pass, as you can obviously tell. We are about 41% full in the harvester already, so that is a very good thing, right? That means we're getting a very good yield out of this field here. The fact that we've already got 40-something% full. A lot of other comments that I read were mentioning that I should just get rid of the semi altogether. It's not a terrible idea, but the reason why I have the semi is for a couple of reasons. One, I'm not necessarily saying we're never going to have a selling point here on the farm. We probably will at some point, but realistically, more times than not, the best place to sell stuff, even if you have a selling point on your farm, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the one that's standard out the box. And what I mean by standard out the box, I'm talking about, you know, one that comes installed on the map itself, not one that you put down yourself. So to get up there at a faster clip, it is definitely better to have the semi, because the semi can go, you know, 60-something mile an hour, where your tractor is only going to go at most probably 25, 30, 35 maybe, depending on what tractor you have. So I think just from a time logistics standpoint, it makes sense right now. Maybe later on, maybe it won't. Maybe once we get to a point where we've got some big, massive tractors that can, you know, push out the power, maybe then it won't make sense as much. But for now, for the foreseeable future, I think I'm going to keep the semi. And it's not just because I think it's going to be faster to get up there. I just like the semi, so I want to kind of utilize it a little while, because this is really a series where we could actually utilize it. A lot of the other series that we're doing on the channel right now, there's not really a whole lot of room for that kind of semi with the price that it would cost for everything that you would utilize for the semi, if that makes sense, right? The trailers and everything else, right? They're all very expensive. No, get off the worker, get off the worker. But we'll see how it goes, right? Well, I mean, we always pivot. That's what we do, right? I'm not perfect. I'll make mistakes and everything. And if we carry on here and we seems to be that it's better to not utilize the semi, we should just utilize the tractor, then we'll pivot. We'll sell it. I mean, it's not a big deal. There's no rules or regulations on this series about buying and selling of stuff, right? We can do that willy-nilly anytime we want. Now we need to get, realistically here soon, we need to get the big sawmill put down. We got to start getting the log cabin going here a little more. I'm getting tired of sleeping in a tent. I've been sleeping in a tent for well over a year now at this point. It's probably over 2 years, actually, and it's well over 2 years now. So it's time for me to get that log cabin done. But to do so, we've got to put down a big sawmill, because at this point, from what I've been able to find, at least at the time of this recording, there is not a whole lot in the mod hub. And by a whole lot, I mean there's nothing in the mod hub for being able to get prefab walls made from a sawmill. So we got to get that big sawmill so we can do that, right? Even if it's only for a temporary period of time while we get the prefab walls done, we still have to get that put down. And it's not cheap. Realistically, I guess I should say, not ideally, realistically, I could have put down the sawmill today if I wanted to, but we wouldn't have been able to buy this harvester, and I really wanted to upgrade to this harvester. This series is not going anywhere anytime soon. This is going to be our workhorse of a harvester for quite a while now. And I wanted to, I wanted to utilize this harvester. I wanted it involved in the series as soon as possible. Especially given the fact that a lot of our fields are somewhere between the medium to medium large range, not extra large, but large range, right? We don't really have any super small fields. Not to say that the other harvester couldn't do it. It's been doing it. It can do it. There's no problem with it. But this one, it's just a little bit better overall. And man, it's a pleasure to drive this thing, man. It just feels smooth. I don't know if that makes any sense. I mean, I'm playing a video game, a farming simulator video game, but there are instances where some equipment just doesn't feel smooth. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody or not. It feels a little clunky, like something's not really right. This one feels right. Interior's nice. I'm not a huge fan of red, I'm going to be honest with you. That's probably the only thing I don't love about it. And I don't know why. A lot of people love red, I get that. But red's probably my least favorite color, I think. I can't explain to you why. Actually, yellow is my least favorite color. But red is my second least favorite color. Now, there are some reds that I do really like. But you're just standard red like this, and it's alright. It's fine. I'm more of a blue and a green color guy. That's the colors I would like my equipment to be, are blue and green, which means, you know, I've got a very limited choice because a lot of farming equipment is either red or green, right? So I'd have to do a lot of John Deere stuff. Easy, easy. You just killed some crop. That's all right. Wasn't that much. Let's get the semi here. We're just going to take a shortcut here. Go up here and to the left. And that works really well, too, with the harvester here, right? Remember the last one? We were trying to utilize putting the crop into the actual semi, and it was having a hard time because the pipe wasn't high enough. Now it is, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Alright, so, while that's happening, so we've got the rest of this field, which isn't much, right? We'll be done with that pretty quickly. We've got to harvest this field here as well. I'd like to take out a couple of these trees today. As I've mentioned before, I'd like to kind of expand this field a little bit, so if we can take out a couple of these trees, we can put them into this sawmill. That will help buff this sawmill up a little bit. I think that would help us. We've got this sawmill here, which obviously I talked about. We need to get rid of some more wood out of it, so we just basically are not going to put any wood in it for a while. That way we have a little bit more room to turn around here. And we can still do it. Obviously, I've did it already, but it would just be nice to have a little bit more space here for the turnaround. So we're going to do that as well. We also can, while we're at it, go ahead and get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. Perfect. We've got a couple pallets of wool there we'll need to pick up and do something with. So that's really where, you know, this trailer is going to come into play, right? We're going to be utilizing it for pallets of wool and things like that. So we've got that going for us. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the only other thing to talk about it today, I think. See how they're doing here. Oh, they're good. They're good. Everything's good. We've got pallets spawning in here, so it's going to be a little difficult to get these out of here, I think. But that's all right. We'll be able to do it. We just got to utilize the Vultra here. It's short enough. So I'm glad we purchased that Vultra. This water tank can go away. We haven't got rid of it yet, but we can take that up and get rid of it as well. So yeah, that's what we got to do today right there. A little cloudy today, as you can see. Hopefully here in a little bit it will get a lot sunnier for us. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're all doing well. Things are about as good as I could be given the circumstances. I've mentioned it a couple of times, and I'm just going to briefly mention it here. Work's caught up with me a little bit, so most of you don't know, but as far as my members go, I've been a little bit behind on getting them videos out early, so I apologize ahead of time, but we'll get back in the groove here soon enough. I just got to get up to speed on all the new responsibilities that have been thrown on my plate unexpectedly, right? So, just working a lot of late hours lately. Not a complaint, just want to make sure that I'm, you know, up front with everyone, right? Haven't had the time to record and edit at night like I normally would, right? Normally I get home 5:30, whatever, you know, I work a little bit extra than I'm supposed to, but now it's been a little bit more like I'm not done working till 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. So you can factor that in, right? You can do the math there of how much time that actually gives me to do any kind of video recording and then subsequent editing. And I'm sure you probably can understand that when you work that many hours, I'm sure if you've worked that many hours, you'll know this, but sometimes you're just a little exhausted when you get home. Like your brain's a little mush, right? So you may not exactly feel like putting the effort in that you have to do to record and edit. And that's not what I want to do, right? I want to make sure if I'm putting out a video for you, for the most part, as much as possible, it's enjoyable and I feel like I'm actually having fun myself, right? Because if I'm not having fun myself, then why am I doing it? All right, this field is done. So what we're going to do, we're going to unload this. I'm actually going to get a worker out. I'm going to get a worker started on plowing this field. They may even finish plowing this field, and if they do, that's fine. We've got 2 fields to plow today anyway, so we might as well go ahead and get that going. So I'm going to jump in here to the Doltzfar. We're right next to it. Perfect. So we'll jump in the Doltzfar here. We'll get up here. We'll get the workers started on plowing this field up. Work the headlands on. Start with the up and down. Perfect. We move this out of the way. And we're just going to dump this into the silo for now. Like I said, that silo may or may not be moving. Who knows? But stuff like canola is not going to bother it to go in there because they're, you know, the animals aren't going to steal that from it. So it's not a big deal. All right. Now we can head over. I'm going to go this way. I still think I'm going to put a track in over here. Just to have multiple entrances, you know, multiple ways to get to our main yard area now that it's over here. But I'm going to head this. I'm going to take this over here towards our field here. Preparation for when it's ready to be unloaded. And by it, I mean the harvester itself is ready to be unloaded. Now, a lot of you have been, you know, mentioning how difficult it could potentially be to do the sugarcane over here. I understand it may be. It may be a point where I get very frustrated with it, and if it is, that's fine. I still wanted to try it out. I wanted to see how things go. If it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well. You know, it is what it is, right? We definitely want to be dropping straw here, because we're going to need that. Alright, perfect. We're underway over here. But yeah, the sugarcane, I mean, we'll see, right? There is a harvester there, and I don't know if it stores anything or not. Once we get a chance here to get flipped around, I'm going to turn on the steering assist, and we can look at the menu really quick here. There is a very expensive harvester out there. I'm not positive if it stores the sugarcane or not, or if it needs to be directly dumped into a trailer or not. We will figure that out. I mean, if it allows it to set it up properly, we might get to a point where we're like, hey, we're saving up, we're going to buy that thing, right? And maybe that delays some other stuff we want to accomplish, like the prefab walls, who knows. But we've got enough trees, I feel like we could probably get whatever it is we need and be able to afford it within a couple of episodes, right? So when we get this flipped around here, we'll turn on steering assist after we're done unloading the straw here. Should be a relatively straight line on this portion, at least. Alright, perfect. So while that's happening, used market. Well, there's a couple of okay things, like this auger trailer would be kind of cool. Never really utilized those. Maybe I should. It's not a bad price. But what we're really looking at right now is the sugarcane harvester, right? So we've got this $349,000 sugarcane harvester. It does not look like it actually holds anything. So we would have to have a trailer. Now, I believe, I mean, I can't really zoom in a whole lot further than where I'm at now, but I believe, maybe you can't. I was going to say, I thought you could hook. You have to be, right? You have to be able to hook a trailer to the back of it. And if I can hook the trailer to the back of it, then it's not too bad, right? A correct statement? I don't know. Let me know down below. Like I said, I've never done sugarcane. Actually, I've never ever done sugarcane, so this is going to be new to me. But I would assume that these can just be pulled behind it, and it'll just dump straight into it, right? And that makes sense to me. But I don't know. Let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know down below. Now our greenhouses are doing okay. I do think they need a little bit of water, so we'll probably spend some time today just, you know, running some water over there quickly. Ideally, we need to upgrade the water tank as well, and that's something we can utilize the semi for. Is, you know, that semi has that water tank that's massive that we can buy. That would be the most ideal situation for us, I think. Selling both those water tanks and just getting the one big massive one. But again, it's expensive. It's like 100 grand, I think, for that water tank. So now this case 7150, it does have the option where you could have put on dual wheels on the front. I chose not to go with the dual wheels. I chose to go with just these bigger, chunky type of wheels. You all know that I love big, chunky wheels. I don't know why. It's just a preference of mine is the big, chunky wheels. Can't really explain it. So you have a couple of options, I guess, to choose from on the tires. But really, this is the one I wanted to go with, and this is the one we got. It's the more traditional way, too. The dual tires cost more money. So we're almost back around the headland here, and we can start doing some more traditional up and downs at this point. So let's get to work here, gang. Let's get this field done. It won't take too long, and we will see where we're at. Well, I thought putting the worker on was going to help me there, and the worker just decided to completely change gears and go in a completely different region. Okay. Okay. Oh boy. Alright, well, let me flip around here. What a mess. So going well so far here, gang. I actually did not expect to be jumping off the time lapse already. I was expecting to get most of the field done here in a time lapse before I did that, but you know, it is what it is. I don't know what the worker's doing now. We're just going to turn the worker off at this point. He's driving me insane, so we're just going to turn the worker off. But I was not expecting to get to that point yet. The other worker with doing the plowing is actually doing a really good job and is nearly complete already. So that's going to be good. That's going to be helpful. Now, we've got to get the straw up off the ground on this field as well, right? So we may not get the plowing done on this field today. As a matter of fact, I can almost tell you it probably won't be today. It'll probably be the next episode before we get the plowing done. Well, we will get the straw up today, and the straw is probably going to go into a new silo of some sort, like I said, right? Because I don't want to utilize... or at least make it think, I guess I should say, utilize like an you know, extension tank when it's really not supposed to be an extension tank, right? I kind of want to do that myself. I want to move the straw over there when I want to, etc., right? So, yeah, we'll find a new location for the straw, wherever that may be. All right, we're finishing up the straw pickup here just now on this field. And as you notice, I've kind of decided just to go ahead and throw all of it into the water buffalo pen. I mean, they could definitely use some more of that straw, so we might as well just throw it in there for now, and I can kind of have a bit more of a think on where I want to put the silo at. So I'll work on that a little bit off camera. So let's go ahead and drop the rest of this straw off in there. I'm not as concerned about making silage out of the straw right now, because we do have an okay amount of money for now, so I'm not too concerned about that. So based off of that, that was the reason I made the choice to just go ahead and throw it into the pen itself. Their pen holds a ton of straw, as you can see. So, might as well just keep throwing some in there to make sure that they have a plethora amount between now and the next time we harvest. And we're able to pick up straw. So I also started the worker. The worker did finish doing the plowing up on that field there. I started the worker already on plowing the field we literally just finished working in. I'm gonna leave that there for right now. We need to take all this stuff and put it away. So we'll fold this up. Worker should be going. Yep, they're going. So we'll let the worker do their thing on that. Once we're done putting this stuff away and then dropping off everything from the trailer into the silo, we'll pick up the water tank and start working on filling up the greenhouses with some water. Might even actually consider just buying the water tank for the semi now. We'll see if I decide to go that path or not, but there's a chance that I might end up just saying, let's go ahead and do it, because we have $170,000 right now. I don't expect, I should say, us to really need to utilize a whole lot more of that money today. So it might be beneficial just to go ahead and buy it since we have the funds right now. Okay, perfect. So that'll hang out right there. That's nice. I don't know how much longer we have before we're going to be able to harvest the sugarcane here. It looks like it's got a ways. I figured sugarcane takes a while to harvest, so it does have a ways before that's going to happen. So I'm not as concerned then about the price for the harvester, right? So I think that might be what we end up doing. So let's go take this, drop it off of the silo. We will look and see. We'll do it actually right now. I don't remember what we have in here, if anything's best to sell now. I don't think it is. No, it's not. We don't have anything that's really able to sell right now. All the stuff we have is going to be stuff we're going to sell in the winter and or we turn it into a production of some sort. So speaking of those, I talked about, you know, eventually, soon enough, we're going to start putting some productions down somewhere over near the yard area. That is still on the list of things to do. There's a lot of things that are on the list to do, if I'm honest with you. And it really just depends on the time, right? We just need to have enough time to be able to do all these things. Soon enough, we will, though. I mean, obviously, it's not every single month. We're not going to have as much to do as we have this month, right? We're not going to have 2 fields to harvest and plow up and everything else every single month. It's not going to happen. So, likely the next episode, there's probably going to be the ability for us to actually drill something. I think that's a correct statement. Let me just verify that really quick. August, yes, we can plant canola in August. So we can at least get one of those fields drilled. We'll probably wait until September so we can actually put in, you know, barley or something else. More than likely barley or wheat, right? So we'll work on that in September, but we'll at least drill one of the 3 fields, maybe even 2 of them, with canola. Because when the worker's done with that field over there, we will have, at that point, 3 fields that are plowed up, ready to be drilled. So the next couple episodes are going to be pretty busy. Which is a good thing, man. Does mean a little less expansion from knocking down trees and stuff, but if I have any kind of time at all, I will knock down some trees off camera and things like that, right? So I'm going to drop that off there. I'm going to go pick up both of the water tanks we have. I'm going to carry those all the way up to the shop. After I service them, obviously I'm going to service them here. Save ourselves a few dollars. But I will service them and then get them all the way up to the shop. We can sell them and we can buy a brand new water tank for the semi here, which will hold a hell of a lot of water, and we will have to do less trips back and forth that way. So let's get that done. I will see you at the shop. All right, I got them up here, gang. Let's go ahead and get these guys repainted. Actually, the other one didn't even need to be repainted. That's good. So let's sell this guy for 14 and 10. Gets us up above 200,000. Did pass 1,400 hours by the time we got up here and got everything accomplished. So let's purchase one here, huh? I think it's gonna be under animals. It is 90 grand. Not cheap. Not cheap at all. There is this option we could go with, which is unrealistic, but we could get that. Well, there's a medium capacity. There's an extra large capacity. Super unrealistic, but that is an option for us. But I'm not gonna do it. We want a little bit of a watercolor here. We'll go with that blue. I like that blue a lot. I use that blue quite often, as many of you know if you've been watching the channel for a while. Probably my favorite blue. It's almost like a oceanish type of blue, I guess. Like a turquoise-ish. Not even turquoise. A little bit of turquoise in it, I guess. But anyway, I'm rambling. All right, let's pick that up. Should really be all we need, more than likely, for the remainder of the series, unless we get some other animals that require a ton more water, and maybe the pen itself doesn't have the water hookup like the one we currently have, right? Like the ones we currently have. Either way, I'm going to get this back there. I will see you back at the yard here. We will get this filled up. We're going to go directly to our little creek, river, not a river, creek, pond area. Get this thing filled up, and we will top off all the greenhouses. And this should hold enough that we shouldn't have to go very often to that fill-up station. So, well, I say fill-up station, I mean the pond. All right, we are full, gang. 32,000 liters of water. Barely going to make a dent in this at all when we unload this into these greenhouses. We've got a little more work to do around the yard as well, trying to clean it up, make it look nice like this does, right? But we need to kind of fill up the yard a little bit more and know where things are going to be before we start doing that, though. All right, there we go. It only took up just over 20%, right? Drop that off there. We'll head back over to the other side here. Been a really productive day today, gang. Really productive. A lot done, new stuff. It's good. All right, we're going to leave the episode at that point, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. All that stuff helps me out an absolute ton. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or ideas, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. I'm happy to get back to you on those and anything that you want to talk about. And yeah, this is, we're going well, gang. Brand new harvester. I'm so excited about it. My favorite harvester by far in the game, at least to this point. It's going to be fun, man. We're going to continue on here. Starting to come to shape, man. We're starting to get some real, true stuff here, and making it look like a true, massive yard and a massive farm at that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.